Matt Lawrence here with UIndyAthletics.com. We're joined by head swimming and diving coach Jason Hyatt as they prepare for their House of Champions meet this weekend at IUPUI. Coach, before we get in to this coming weekend's meet, I want to take a look back at last weekend. You guys had a tough meet against a Grand Valley State program that historically, they're very good in the Division II. What can you take away from your team's performance last weekend and help them prepare for the coming meet this weekend?
I was very happy with how we raced on Saturday against Grand Valley. They are a top 10 ranked team, and we gave them a run for their money. A little bit on the front side, they beat us in both relays, not by much, but that was a big one. They beat us pretty good on the boards. But as far as the way we raced and competed, I think we won more touches, close races, than they did. So that's exciting. And just the fact that the team didn't just lay down against a team that is a higher ranked opponent, that says a lot about our character. On the women's side, they've got a little bit more power than we do. But once again, our women raced really hard, won a lot of touches, and I think it's a good barometer for where we are, and it's a very positive feeling for going into this weekend.
And I want to talk a little bit about the preparation that you have for this coming weekend and how that compares to a typical dual meet against a regular opponent. When you go into a meet like this, you got 9-10 teams that you're facing. Mm-hmm. How does the preparation during the week, how do you change that to get your guys in shape to be able to swim in a meet like this?
Well, for this meet, we're actually backing off considerably. In swimming, you swim most of your dual meets and your in-season meets pretty tired, pretty worn out. We've done a lot of workouts before our meets on the same day, the day before being really, really tough. Whereas this one, we are completely and totally resting. We're backing way off in yardage. The style of the practices are also very different. The quality things that we do have to be very high quality, very much exactly race, just like you're doing in the race. And then the upper heart rate things, they kind of come down a little bit as far as the aerobic and endurance. Your body is very, very rested. As a coach, it's a little crazy because the amount of energy that the student athletes have is way up here, and you have to get them to contain it and save it for the races, so they can be a little bit chatty and a little bit crazy during this time. But it's exciting and it's fun. It'll be interesting to see how we do this weekend.
And looking ahead to this weekend, what are some expectations that you have for your team? What would you really like to see out of your team at this House of Champions meet?
Honestly, across the board, I'd like to see best times for everybody. Season best times, a lot of lifetime best times. Then ultimately the goal is to get as close to as many national qualifying times as we can. Then have, I think we've got potential for several guys and a few girls to make national qualifying times. So that would be very exciting.
And as far as the national qualifying times go, for people that aren't quite aware of the system, can you just kind of, go through that for them?
Well, it's a little bit interesting. In Division II swimming, you have what's called an A cut, and that's an automatic qualifying time. And that is extremely hard. That's based kind of on where the top 2 or 3 have finished in the last, the last few years. It's kind of a formula with that. And then there's what we call a B cut, which if you get an A cut, then you get to also so anything else you have a B cut in. Or there's just a top times list. Every event has a top, 50 or whatever, and then they invite a certain amount of swimmers to the meet in each event. On the women's side, it's usually about 16, 17, 18, and on the men's side, it's about 12, 13 that get invited. And so we have an idea of what those invited times have been over the last few years, and so as long as we come in under those, then that gives us a pretty good idea of whether somebody will make the meet or not.
All right, Coach, thanks for your time, and good luck this weekend.
All right, thank you.
House of Champions meet gets started on Friday afternoon from IUPUI. Thanks for watching.